Do you want 9 super easy tips that might just increase website leads from your homepage? Hey, I'm Sam Dunning, co owner over at webchoiceuk.com and host of the Top 100 Marketing Podcast, Business Growth. So, if you haven't yet, check out my weekly email where I share actual marketing tips, useful podcasts, free guides, resources, and plenty of bonuses each and every Monday to start your week off with a bang. Check it out over at businessgrowth.email. All right, so let's jump into the 9 tips that might just increase inbound sales leads from your website homepage. Tip number 1 is focused on page speed. So you've probably been there before. I know I certainly have. I've searched for something perhaps on Google, maybe it was a new piece of software, a new product to help us, clicked on the link, and the site just took ages and ages and ages to load. We're not talking seconds, we're perhaps talking 10, 15 seconds longer. Nothing more frustrating, especially when you're wanting to make an inquiry or buy something there and then. Chances are, if that's happened to you, you've exited the window and you've head to a competitor that's given you a better experience and use them instead. So the last thing you want to do is be spending time or money marketing, advertising, whether that's Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, other platforms, and then people drop off your website because your site's too slow. So I recommend you go onto a tool called Google PageSpeed Insights, copy and paste your website link, put in the address, click go, and you can get a score out of 100 for your mobile website version and your desktop view of your site. As well as that, you'll get a list of actionable tips. So if your website is a bit slow, it will say things like, look, you could reduce image sizes, you could reduce the files of animations or heavy code or jQuery code, or you could lower the size of videos. There'll be lots of different tips that you'll get on how you can make your website nice and quick. So ideally, you want a page speed of 1 second or less, so it loads lightning quick on PC and mobile so people can get straight into your site and do what they want to do. Point number 2, having a mobile first design that's crafted around customer research. So if you want to know more about designing and building for ideal clients, I have got other podcasts on Business Growth Show and videos around designing your sites for ideal clients. So check those out. All about talking to your best existing clients, understanding what they like about your site, what it's missing, what they really care about, and making sure you're designing sites for ideal customers, i.e. the ones that are going to buy your stuff, and not to fuel your own ego or just what you think looks pretty, actually designing it for the people that are going to be buying our stuff. Now, mobile first design, that essentially, the reason we want to do that is typically now there's a lot of stats online. It's roughly around 60% of searches on average are now from a mobile device. So it's no longer good enough doing the traditional responsive design. That means where your website adapts to PC, adapts to tablet, adapts to mobile. It should really have a mobile first approach. So you design specifically for mobile devices first, and then you design for the desktop. One of Google's recent algorithm updates was Core Web Vitals, and that takes a big emphasis on having a great user experience on mobile as well as other devices. And if you don't design well for mobile, your ranking can actually be affected. Not only if someone goes onto your site and it looks like a potato, if it looks awful on mobile, they're just going to click off because it doesn't give them a great experience. They're going to go onto a better site that does. So really taking the time to make sure your site not only looks okay, but looks awesome on mobile, get customer feedback, make sure they're happy with the way it performs and operates. Point number 3, have a clear headline on your website that says exactly what you do or the problem that you solve with a clear call to action. So for example, at webchoiceuk.com, ours is we build websites and SEO strategies that generate leads and sales. And then we have a call to action. We actually have 2 call to actions for view our work, linking to our portfolio. And we have another to request a free quote. And that's literally as soon as you land on a homepage, above the fold, before you need to scroll, the headline and the call to actions. I recommend something similar on your site. So that way, as soon as someone lands on your website, if they click an ad, social, however they get directed to your site, they know exactly what you do or the problem that you solve. And then they've got a clear option if they want to get in touch with you or view more about your offering. They can do that nice and easily without having to mess about, flick around. They've got the option, bang, straight in front of you. So they're ready to make an inquiry if they wish to do so. Point number 4. So one thing that I've seen marketers, business owners make the mistake of on their website is trying to list every single product, service, offering they've ever offered on their homepage. So a cluttered homepage that's not simple, that's not clean, easy to understand and navigate is not going to do you any favors. So instead of listing every single feature, product, benefit you do ever, focus on the key points, the key benefits, the key problems that you solve that your customers actually care about. Focus on the main ones. That might be 3, 4, 5 points or so that you can elaborate on rather than confusing people by listing everything. Try and make it as clear, as easy to digest and understand as possible. If you're unsure if it's going to work well, again, why not talk to some of your existing best prospects, best customers, get their feedback, ask them, is this clear? Is there anything we should chop off? Is this the actual problem that we helped you with? Would you make any changes? Could we do anything to simplify this? That is one of the best ways to make sure your homepage is doing the job. Point number 5, use clear, simple, easy to understand, and easy to digest copy on your homepage. The only exception to this is if you're perhaps selling software or perhaps you're dealing with people that are quite technical, whether that is like chief technical officers or perhaps you're dealing with marketers. If they know, for example, if you're selling quite a complex software solution or technical solution, manufacturing solution, whatever the heck it is, and there's a lot of jargon, there's a lot of technical descriptive words that you use, and your customers actually use those words often on day to day, on sales calls, on customer calls, then feel free to use them. If that's the lingo that they use, then by all means use it on your website and your customers are familiar with. If they're not using the lingo or they're not using technical jargon, steer well clear of it. The best thing you can do is keep your website copy as easy to understand and digest as possible. That way, when new visitors land on your site, they can easily grasp exactly what you do, how it helps them, and then you can give them the option to get in touch. The last thing you want to do is confuse them. As Donald Miller says, if you confuse, you lose. It's so true. Your safest bet is to make it as clear and easy to understand how you can help and what you offer. Unless, like I say, your customers often use insider tech jargon, then it makes sense to use it. Point number 6, use consistent and descriptive call to actions. So on your website, one of the main goals for most websites anyway, is to get people to take some kind of action. If that's request a quote, book a call, book a demo, make a purchase, download this ebook, whatever you want your users, your visitors to do. Now, I recommend making a call to action descriptive. So rather than just saying book a call, tell the person exactly what they get. So book your free quote or download your free 10 tips guide to increase website leads, or explain exactly what someone gets by pressing that button. It's as simple as that. And not only that, don't just have them at the top of your homepage, perhaps in the hero area or the banner. Have them consistently. So as someone scrolls down, they don't have to keep scrolling back to the top to make an inquiry or download a guide or to book a call. Make it as easy as possible. So as they're moving through your site, they're consistently there. The same call to action, the same description. So it makes it nice and easy for people to reach out to you no matter what part of that homepage of your website they are on. Point number 7, give people multiple options to reach out to you. So as a marketer, as a business owner, you might wish that everyone called you, or you might wish that everyone emailed you. Well, the chances are your prospect might not want to chat on the same channel as you. So for that reason, we should give people multiple options to get in touch with us, whatever works best for them. So that could be a live chat option, that could be filling out an inquiry form, that could be booking a call on the calendar, or it could even be clicking the number on their mobile or just typing in the phone number. So give people multiple ways to reach out to you, whether that's phone, email, inquiry form, maybe even live chat. That way you've given 3, 4, maybe even 5 options. So you're covering different personas really, as everyone has their own way to deal with you. Some deals we've closed have only been over email, some have been over the phone, some have been a mix of different channels. So give your customers more options to get in touch with you, and that's going to help you open the door to more inquiries. Point number 8 is a big one. It's leveraging social proof. Now, this is really important because if you're going to be spending money or time driving a ton of traffic to your website through ads, through SEO, through marketing, through social, through podcasts, whatever the heck you're doing, we need to make sure that when people land on our site, they trust that we're going to do a good job for them. We build confidence with them, and eventually we encourage them to convert. We encourage them to make an inquiry with us, book a demo, whatever that next step is. So ways that you can leverage social proof to build trust are through customer testimonials. Perhaps you've got customer review videos. Maybe you've got case studies of jobs that you've done well. Maybe you have got examples of podcasts where you're sharing best practices, tips, and so on. Maybe you've got reviews like from Google Reviews or Trustpilot or Capterra or G2 or whatever review site you use. So leverage these things, put them nicely displayed on your homepage as well as other pages on your site. So as people scroll through, as people navigate your site, they're understanding, they're perhaps seeing examples of customers you've helped with similar problems to them. You're building that trust, and you might just be tipping people over the edge to get ready to speak and reach out to you. And finally, point number 9 is overcome customer objections with your copy, with your content. So one of the best ideas here is to speak to your sales team if you have one, or if you're running the business fully yourself, then you will probably know the answers. What are the common things? What are the common issues, the common queries, the FAQs that people constantly bring up on sales calls? I.e., let's give you a quick example. Us with Web Choice, it might be, how much does a website cost? What is the process for designing and building a website? Why should we use you guys? What kind of software do you use? So do you have these common questions that people bring up on almost every sales call? Something that takes you a bit of time to respond to, something you have to overcome. Think about those, draw up a list of these common queries, and address them. Address them on your site. So on your homepage, for example, you could pick the top 4, top 5 most juiciest things that often get asked. Put a little FAQ section so people can easily get the answers quickly. They don't have to hassle you on a sales call. They can get the content there and then. And again, this might just be the tipping point that encourages them to reach out to you. And there you have it. I hope these 9 tips for your website homepage have been of use. As always, if you're tuning in from YouTube, a quick subscribe is much appreciated. Or if you're listening in on Apple or Spotify, a very quick rating, I'd be very much thankful for. And otherwise, we should catch you on the next one. Cheers.